In part 2 I realised that an Android box might be the best way to play Taxman's classic Sonic remakes. Also the Apple TV and probably some smart TVs will work too. Before I even managed to publish this video series, the version of the FireTV that I bought, which is pendant shaped, has been superseded by a more powerful version which looks like a USB stick. Either way I think it should work, as I tested the non-4K older Amazon Fire Stick and that worked fine as well. Okay, here we go. This is my Amazon Fire TV. You need to make sure it's properly powered, otherwise it will run at half speed. And because it doesn't have any USB slots, you need to expand it with a micro USB hub adapter. Make sure your adapter is not set on charge, otherwise it will run at half speed. And make sure you get one that actually fits. Some have sideways connections, they're too big. And let's just play with a wired pad, let's not worry about lag, disconnections and all of those kind of problems. So here's Sonic 1 with widescreen. It controls perfectly, it looks absolutely brilliant, you can use spin dash. At first I wasn't sure if this was a good idea, as it changes the pace of the game and makes things easier. But now I've tried it, I can't imagine playing Sonic 1 without it. The extra speed is welcome and it gives you more scope to try daring jumps and explore. You have access to 3 classic characters. It's also got some extra areas here and there just for the new characters to access using their unique skills. The new areas I've found aren't massive, but brand new content for the levels is exactly the kind of thing you should expect in a good remake. Also the Lives HUD is in the correct place again, bottom left, unlike the emulated version we tried on the PC. Another feature I like is, if like me you suck at the special stages after not playing them for a while, you can retry them. Sure, basically it's cheating, but life is short, I don't have time to grind for emeralds. Screw it up, restart. Win. Now for Sonic 2. Again, you have access to all the classic characters, it feels great, widescreen looks amazing. However, this cannot be argued to be the definitive edition because I can't find a way to play 2-player co-op with Sonic and Tails like the original game. This doesn't bother me, as it's a bit underwhelming being Tails, as it's very difficult to stay on screen for any length of time. But this could be a deal breaker for some people, and it's a big feature missing that was in the original game. If you're just playing by yourself, arguably this is the best version. Having said that, there are some problems. The version I originally installed would crash every time you unlocked an achievement. So when I got a jackpot of 100 rings in the casino machines, or when I completed the first level in less than 35 seconds, then the app just died. All of these achievements can be avoided, and you should be able to get through the entire game, but it's a really annoying problem. However, this won't be a problem for you, because before I managed to get this video out, Sega actually flagged the Sonic 2 as not being available for the Fire TV anymore. So now if you go to the App Store on the Fire TV, you won't be able to find Sonic 2. I didn't realise this, I was trying to fix the crash issues and uninstalled and then tried to reinstall, and then, brilliant, Sega's done it again, they've stolen a Sonic game back from me after I paid for it. So I contacted Sega support and they say they passed the info on to the developer and to keep an eye out for its return on the store, but I'm not holding my breath. This disappearing game issue certainly shows how fragile the notion of ownership is on platforms that aren't dedicated to games as their primary purpose. So I just downloaded it onto my phone instead and transferred it back onto the Fire TV. The icon is the wrong size, but the crashes are gone, so 2 wrongs do make a right, I guess. If you think you want to play these Android versions at some point, I would buy and download them straight away before anything else happens to them. There are dodgy sites you can download them off, but they might be infected with something, it's not legal, and Nintendo is going around killing ROM sites at the moment. Best to buy and preserve your own copies. I will make a bonus episode showing exact instructions on how to back up and restore your Android Sonic games between Android devices. So, Hidden Palace Zone. This is a really fantastic thing about this particular version. This zone, just one level, was never finished in the original game, but has been rescued and completed. I remember playing the Hidden Palace music in the level select, wondering what this level would look like. It's not the best Sonic level ever, but it's really amazing to have a whole extra brand new level to play. And here's the game that kicked this all off, Sonic CD. This was the only major 2D Sonic game I didn't play as a kid because I was too poor to own a Mega CD. I remember looking through the magazine previews of Sonic CD thinking it looked amazing. Had I actually got my hands on it, I might have been disappointed, as when I finally did play it years later, I just didn't get on with it. It felt like a subpar Sonic game to me. I think this is because playing Sonic CD like a normal Sonic game doesn't quite work. You'll fire through the level in no time and wonder where the game was. This game is more about exploration. The levels are a lot more vertical and you have to find monster generators like this. Now that I have my Sonic box all sorted out, I'll have to do a Let's Play of Sonic CD and try to enjoy it properly this time. Okay, Sonic 3 Knuckles. There's no Taxman remaster of these games. He did a proof of concept for Sega, but it was never run with, which is a real shame, as we're missing the final widescreen part of this classic series. But we did get Sonic Mania, so we can't complain too much. But seriously, we should still complain. So no widescreen option for this version. But what we can get is some interesting options made by some talented people who have somehow added a crazy number of options and minor customizations. If you want to get your hands on this version of Sonic 3 Knuckles, probably the best thing to do is buy Sonic 3 on Steam. Yes, buy it off Sega, because you know we shouldn't steal from Sega, even though they're stealing from me all the time. You can buy Sonic 3 as part of Sega's Genesis pack, and then once you have that, you can download modifications through Steam. So I assume that's all legal and Sega's fine with that. So download Sonic 3 Complete, and then you can take that ROM out of Steam and put it into any emulator you like. In my case, I wanted it on the FireTV, so I could have the whole collection on one device. At this point, you might as well throw in the Master System versions too. The internet said RetroArch is a good emulator, so I grabbed that, and it seems really nice. The menu is very Sony. Sonic 3 Complete seems to play fine. It looks a little fuzzy compared to the crisp remakes, but it was made 24 years ago, I suppose. It's such a shame we probably won't get a Taxman widescreen version. If we did, it would look something like this. So yeah, this is Sonic Mania Plus. I assume this is the proof of concept demo work that he did, which has been repurposed for the intro to Plus mode, which is really clever. It means we actually get to play it, which is really nice. But this Sonic 3 section is so short, it's over before you even feel it's begun. And so that's it. That's my journey through replaying the original Sonic games, which ideally would have been a nice positive video about going back and playing the original games in the best way possible. But sadly it turns out to be a kind of damning verdict of Sega's choices with their most iconic series, wrecking it with adverts, bizarre platform restrictions, and just making really bad decisions and screwing over consumers. It looks like Sega will continue to pump out emulated ROMs on the latest platforms for gamers who don't know any better. Meanwhile, hardcore Sonic fans are spending hundreds of pounds to recreate the hardware to run the original cards, and probably just a very small number of casual gamers and Ouya enthusiasts are playing what are arguably the best versions of the game. Probably a lot of them by accident. Hopefully I've convinced you to join me playing the Taxman versions deliberately in the best possible conditions.